Skippers Fantasy Baseball. We are here to tell you today the best strategy for your fantasy baseball drafts. Remember, join our Discord. Check out our rankings. Those will be in the description. And once again, if we hit 10K subscribers before the start of baseball season, April 7th, we have a date now. Yeah. We'll have a 24-hour stream for opening day, including a 9-inning, 9 hot dog, 9 beer challenge where Jeremy is guaranteed to throw up, and he will do it.
Yeah, I'll do it for the fans because we're all about our viewers. I will definitely puke, so you'll want to see that.
That'll be awesome. All right, so I have a strategy. Jeremy has a strategy. You can hear the two different strategies we have. Maybe we can come to agreement on one we think is the best, but this is for you, the viewer, to decide what you want to do in your fantasy baseball draft. So, Jared, why don't you get into yours?
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about the pitcher strategy. This is a strategy that I like to implement. I think that's a very strong strategy going into your draft. I think it's pretty consistent that you'll see good results. Obviously, dominating those. I mean, pitching, right, takes up, usually 5 categories for your fantasy season. Obviously, most people play 5v5. Sam Beal, shout out to Sam Beal. He's been a loyal listener. He sent me a very cool...
In the cord from day one.
Yeah, in the Discord. Very good. So join the Discord. But Sam Beal sent me it was like an Excel sheet with pitchers from last year and the top 30 pitchers from last year. And what he noticed was there was sort of a trend where you would notice that the top 15 pitchers would be your well-known guys, Scherzer, Walker Buehler, pitchers like that. And your back 15 would all be hidden gems. So guys who weren't drafted or that were drafted super late. It seems like the middle round pitchers don't perform. So this strategy would be in excess. If you really want to go full blown the strategy, you go round 1, round 2, round 3, and you anchor your lineup with starting pitchers. So that would look like Corbin Burns or Garrett Cole, Walker Buehler in the second, and Shane Bieber in the third. I love Walker
You could
Buehler.
go Julio Urias in the fourth type thing too.
Yes. Yeah, you could do second, third, fourth, which is probably what I would do.
I think you could even do
all
first 4 if you wanted.
See, that's wild.
Yeah.
But that is fully investing in the pitcher-only strategy. I love the Walker Buehler Shane Bieber turnaround. I think I'm going to use that a lot. I had Shane Bieber in the must draft video. I think he's a great 3rd-round pitcher for you. And if you get him imagine Shane Bieber as your 3rd pitcher on your team. That is pretty absurd.
I'd feel happy about that.
So we talked about anchoring your lineup with consistent pitchers. If you can get 3 pitchers that will finish in the top 15, you are looking like a for sure hit to dominate those categories. I think you're for sure going to dominate those categories and win those categories. From a closer perspective, what we're noticing is before going into these drafts is there's not many closers that are for sure closing. Like their spot is completely secure. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, there's maybe 10, maybe a couple more than that, but it's always been the hardest part of finding closers late.
Yeah, and usually what I look at is, okay, is the team going to get wins? Because if they're not getting wins, they're not getting opportunities to save. And then you look at, there's good teams that do splits. The Rays split. The Red Sox, they change it up usually sometimes. Obviously, it looks like Whitlock, but who knows, right?
Yeah.
He starts pitching like shit. So I think it's very safe to invest in a guy like Josh Hader early on in the draft. So you would pretty much go 1, 2, 3, and then get Hader as the first closer off the board. So that's pretty much like the pitcher strategy is you go 3 pitchers, rounds 1, 2, 3, and then get your closer early to anchor that closer spot. I think this will be my strategy for the season. I know you're going to talk about getting hitters, but I think this is the big stressing point I have. I can find someone really late, even undrafted at the end, that's going to be in that rotation all year, but it's hard to find a hitter, a safe hitter that's going to hit at the top of the order, like 1 to 5 late in drafts.
Yeah. I mean, I totally disagree, but that's fine. That's why we do these 2 different things. Okay. So my strategy is the drafting hitters early. This is from our friend Chris Clegg. I was searching around the internet, and he has 5 good points. One of them is my own here. His first point, pitching pool seems deeper than previous season, and I totally agree with that this year, starting pitching pool. Next, the hitter production is more consistent year to year compared to pitchers. Pitchers seem to fall off more than most hitters. Looked at the stats here and there, and you can tell what they're going to do more than a pitcher. Like more factors in the pitcher too. Position scarcity is a real thing. Obviously, third base and catcher go crazy if you don't get those early, right? Like you don't even. Some people don't even want to be drafting Austin Riley as the third third base or the fourth third baseman taken, right? Like, and after Austin Riley, there's not much good stuff after that.
No, there isn't.
Catcher, obviously, if you're in a 2-catcher league too, that is crazy, but that's just a whole different thing. So if you have to address these early, it saves you from the headache of finding shitty guys that you have to play in your teams all the time. 4 here. Hitters get injured less often than pitchers. Totally agree with that. Sure, they can derail your season, whatever. Pitchers, so many arm injuries. This is a long season. Having a pitcher that can go the whole season is just tough to find nowadays. It's awesome when you can get one, but you have to assume that maybe they're not going to pitch the whole year.
Yeah.
You don't want that, but you can assume that. There are more lineup spots to fill for hitters than pitchers. You got to know your eligibility in these leagues as well. Obviously, you have an outfield guy. You got 5 outfield slots to fill. You can move them around, but you have players with multiple eligibilities. Look at Max Muncy, first base, second base. I talked to him must avoid. That's a player that you can get. Ketel Marte, second base, outfield. Just being able to move these guys. Dalton Varsho, catcher, outfield. You can use these guys. They're so much better to use that way than drafting a pitcher where you can only put in your starting pitcher slot or just your regular pitcher slot. Also, I think you can just find plenty of pitching value going late. We took Corbin Burnes in the 5th round of a 14-team league last year. We took Jack Flaherty in the 3rd, Corbin Burnes in the 5th. Jack Flaherty did shit all for us pretty much the whole year. Corbin Burnes did a ton. You can find another guy like that around the 6th round as well. But another thing, there are very few 5 offensive category producers. And all of those producers are at the top of the drafts. And if you don't have one of these 5 category producers at the start of your drafts, you are immediately playing from behind, catching up, trying to fill categories throughout your draft. So you look at a guy, Ronald Acuna Jr., Fernando Tatis. Obviously, your first couple picks, you need to get those guys. Jose Ramirez. Those are the guys that can do it all. If you have one of those guys, you're in a great spot. When I'm looking here, it's the power-speed combo that you can only get at the start of your drafts. There are only 16 players projected to steal more than 20 bases. 13 of those are being drafted in the top 100, and 12 of those are projected to hit 15 or more home runs with 20 stolen bases. So this is a hard thing to do, and you can get them early, and it's the only time you can really get them. But you're going power speed. Get yourself a safe batting average floor on some of the guys, like who's a guy like Jordan Alvarez. I think he's a pretty safe average floor.
Yeah,
big upside. Takes you away from some categories. I think if you're going to get a lot of hitters early in your drafts, another thing Chris Clegg said, safe starting pitcher 1, high upside starting pitcher 2. If you're going to go away from the starting pitchers early, you can't be drafting someone who you think has a lot of upside as your first.
Yeah, someone who might not get that many innings or you don't know how injury pass.
Yes.
Someone that you know can log a lot of innings.
So I think I'm going the first 4 rounds at least before I take a pitcher, most likely for me.
Yeah, I think like based off what you said, I do agree. I think though that I would go past the 4th round if I was doing, because like we said, the shot in the darks, like that top 30 we talked about, the 15 hit and misses. Obviously you want to anchor some sort of safety there. But I think it's safe to say that I am completely committing to the pitchers only. From you're saying I'm still getting a hitter like your Tatis, your Soto.
Yeah.
If I'm drafting past 8, because I don't know, I'm committing to the pitcher only.
Okay, but if I'm at the back end of the drafts, if I start Mike Trout, Kyle Tucker, I am the happiest person on the planet. I think that is just crazy. It's so good compared to if you just go pitchers early. So that's what I like to do. It's how I'm going to do it all the time. I can't see myself drafting 2 pitchers in the first 3 rounds. It's just not how I like playing fantasy baseball.
Okay. It's interesting. It's seeing 2 different perspectives here. We're never going to agree on this, which a lot of fantasy baseball players will say.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't agree. That's why some people win, some people lose.
See, if you're taking guys like Joe Musgrove, Max Fried, Jose Barrios, that's fine for me, like an SP2, like an SP1, some safe guys, some high upside guys like a Dylan Cease after that. You can do it all. Those are our 2 strategies. Let us know in the comments what you like more. Hopefully it's mine, not Jared's, but there we go. Comment, like, subscribe, do all the fun stuff. Join the Cord.
Yeah, join Discord.
Again, 10K subscribers. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you next time.